Good morning, everyone. All right, today we have a brand new road trip. We're going to be headed up to Bend, Oregon, and then spending the night there. And then we're going to be settling in a little bit and then heading out to meet a bunch of friends in Black Butte Ranch in Central Oregon. So this is about a little over 400-mile road trip we're going to be doing. We're setting off here at actually 5:59 a.m. on Wednesday morning. It's going to take us most of the day to drive up there. I'm going to be doing some work calls throughout the day and trying to stay productive. Hopefully that'll make the time pass around pretty quickly. So just getting started here. I'm going to punch it into the GPS and we'll get started on the road trip. So come along with me. Should have some good supercharging on the way, and may run into a couple interesting things as we're driving up. So take care and come along for the ride. All right, good morning. We are just getting started here, getting on the road trip. We're just a couple miles away from my house. As you can see here, we're looking at the navigation map. Our first supercharger is going to be in Corning, California. It's about, it's about 2 hours and 30 minutes or so. 2 hours and 37 minutes, looks like it's saying here. Looks like we should arrive there about 8:50 a.m. with about 40% left on our battery once we arrive. So when we get there, we'll get the charging going right away, set our new coordinates. Well, it looks like Klamath Falls could be our next charging station after that. So we'll see. That's only going to give us 13%. So we may have to stop before that. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to try to do less supercharging on this trip. See if I can stretch the battery out a little bit more. Weather is actually supposed to be pretty warm today, so that might require some more usage of the air conditioning, but I think we're going to get up close to 100 degrees, most likely, because we're going to be in the central of California here, as you can see on the map. So we'll have to take a seat. We got some light sprinkles this morning. Nothing to be concerned about because it is California in the summer. So I'm sure those sprinkles are just some morning atmosphere kind of adjusting to the what's likely going to be a very warm day. So anyways, we're just getting started here on the road trip. I'll keep you guys posted on what's happening and how the supercharging's going. Again, I'm going to try to stretch the length out here a little bit more than I usually do on road trips, so we'll see how well we do. All right, guys, let's get rolling. All right, guys, so just cruising along here. We're going about 85 miles an hour. We are in autopilot right now, just cruising up here, I-5 North on our way from Pleasanton, California up to Bend, Oregon. You can see the battery right now is down to 110 miles. It's about 83 degrees outside. We are going to be going to the Corning supercharger coming up here in about 28 miles. Right now it's 8:31 a.m. and we should be getting there at about 8:56. Should have about 20% on the battery. I will plug it in and kind of walk you guys through the supercharging experience here coming up here. But it looks like pretty much a straight line here on the map. You can see just heading up through farm and orchard country here in California. And making really good progress, enjoying the ride and having a good experience. Not too much traffic out there. That's making it a really nice experience. And just kind of sitting back in autopilot. I'm doing a few calls in the car, which is a really enjoyable experience with the audio system the car has here, and the noise dampening makes it really easy to do work calls on a long road trip like this. So just enjoying the experience, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, so we just did supercharging back a few miles back. I've been on the road. I was actually on a call, so I wasn't able to record that part of the trip with the supercharging. Our next supercharging is going to be at Klamath Falls in Oregon. It's about 2 hours and 10 minutes or so away, about 127 miles. Right now it's about 10:02 a.m. and the GPS does say we're going to get there around 12:14 p.m. So a little over 2 hours, as I mentioned. So you can see we're going over Shasta Lake here on the map. It's kind of highlighted here, and going through some windy corners. The car does really, really well around these corners. At even higher speeds than I'm going right now. There's a little bit of traffic, and I'll probably whip around these guys here in a moment. But overall, the car just handles these back roads really nice. Right now, it is saying that we're going to arrive at the Supercharger with only 34% left on the battery, which is actually pretty significant for a battery that gets up to 400 miles. So it still should be pretty healthy with, I don't know, 78 miles or so when we actually get to the Supercharger left on the battery. So very comfortable zone for us to be at. So overall, trip's going well. The car's handling it, no problem at all. Drive is beautiful, good weather. It's about 89 degrees outside right now as we're headed up into the Mount Shasta kind of mountain range here. So overall, great trip. We'll pick this up again at the charging station, but I'll leave this segment here with just a little time lapse here on the road, so you guys can get an idea of kind of what I'm dealing with. We're going to be coming up to a hill here, so I'll definitely go around these people. So here we go. Couple little things I've highlighted in some past videos for the new viewers. I wanted to highlight these. Tesla has this really, really great blinker technology. So many of you probably know there's the yoke, which again is great in these turns in the mountain range. The yoke works great for handling that. You have better visibility of the main dash and all the functionality happening there. When you're in autopilot, works really good. But as far as turn signals are concerned, a lot of people have asked me, well, how do you handle the buttons for the turn signals? You can see next to my left thumb here. But many of you may not know that this yoke steering is really like holding a giant video game controller. That's kind of the best reference I like to use. And so you get a lot of muscle memory going on as far as the turn signals are concerned. When you hit that turn signal, you'll go right in. One of the other things, let me just speed up here so I can demonstrate this. Here we go. So when I hit the right turn signal, you just hit the button once. You see it on the main dash as turning. And then on the right side, you can see in my blind spot, it will show me exactly what's going on the main screen. So it safely will allow me to go into this lane, and automatically the turn signal deactivates once the car picks up on the cameras that visually we went into the other lane. So if I want to go back into the left lane now, because of these trucks in front of me, hit the button simply. The turn signal will be on, and it will deactivate once I'm safely in the lane. So great feature. I love the blind spot cameras as well. It makes it really easy to understand what's happening. And overall, just love that about this Tesla on road trips. For those of you that don't know about it, please put some comments below. More than happy to link to some other videos around yoke steering, the turn signals, and I even have a separate video on the blind side cameras that highlight on the main screen the moment you hit that turn signal button. So big change from normal cars that have a stock, but overall it just takes a little bit of getting used to. The best analogy I've used is, very similar to a video game controller. but you do get used to it, and it's pretty amazing once you do. I actually think it's better than the stock. You just get used to it, and then you start to understand and enjoy it more than the standard stock. So anyways, we all have our personal opinions on this stuff. For me, I prefer it. All right, we're getting very close to the Klamath Falls Supercharger here. Just a couple miles before the turn, about 3.5 miles or so before the turnoff. We will turn off, and then I think we have to drive into Klamath Falls about a mile or two, and then we'll go directly to the Supercharger itself. From Klamath Falls to Bend, still about 3.5 hours. We'll get a new update from the computer once I get plugged in there. But I think it might even be closer to 3.5 to 4 hours. We'll see. I am going to be arriving at this Supercharger with about 30% left on the battery, which should be maybe, I don't know, just looking at our miles here, that's going to be, I don't know, maybe about 80 miles or so, maybe more than that, maybe 100 miles or so left on the battery. So we'll charge up and then head off to the next Supercharger. I will shoot that video here right at the cut here. You'll see that video of the supercharging. Give you guys a more in-depth look on what we're able to plug in, what kind of power we're getting, and the approximate time for the charging. So we'll definitely do a more in-depth video on that, and let's see how this goes. Okay, just pulling up to the Supercharger here. We're in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Just gonna back in here and go ahead and get this charging started. Let's see here. So this backup camera is just excellent for backing up and using these lines here to kind of navigate how straight the car is and everything, as you can see here in the camera. So it certainly makes it a lot easier. Just straightening out here, and we'll slowly back into the spot very carefully. We don't want to hit anything. Okay, so we'll stop there and kind of just get a bearing of where we're at here. We're in Klamath Falls, Oregon. We have, it looks like, another 2 hours and 24 minutes. So actually a little bit less than I said on the last clip here. 2 hours, 24 minutes, about 138 miles. It's saying we're going to arrive there around 2:30. I am going to take a little extra time charging here because I like to get the battery as full as I can. But towards the end of any charging, the rate that it charges at drops considerably. So I probably will leave here when the battery is more like 80%, 85% or so. I'm not gonna get it to a full 100%. We'll get back on the road and cruise up to Bend. Hopefully I'm only gonna make this in 2 charging situations, which shouldn't be a problem in this car at all. Then while I'm charging, I'm gonna head into Fred Meyer's there, pick up some lunch. It's about 12 o'clock here, and maybe a coffee or something, and then we'll come back out here and get on the road again, and we'll continue to shoot some great video of this. But I will talk about here how this charging works. So let's go ahead and walk through that. So we're gonna hop out of the car. Since we have backed in very closely here, we're gonna go ahead and grab the charging cable. You just grab it, and as you get close to the port, you just hit this top button here, and the door opens up automatically. You stick this in, and then you wait for those lights to turn green. You can see there, as soon as it turns green, it means it's negotiated with the computer, and the charging will actually begin. So this can take a little bit of time. There you go, it's turning green now. So now we're gonna go ahead and walk back into the car and just see what kind of charging rate we're getting. You can see here on the right side, it's zooming up here to the charging rate. Continues to climb. If we were at a 256 kilowatt charger, it would jump all the way up to that. Looks like this is probably a Series 1 or maybe a Series 2. I think that technically this is a Series 2 charger, which is giving us almost 150 kilowatts. So we're going to be here. It's saying only 15 minutes to continue our trip. However, I'm going to probably stay here a good 30 minutes or so, so that we can get as much charge as possible. So you can see here it's already charging. We do have our total limit for the entire battery. You can see the costs currently associated with this particular charging. I'll let you know what the final amount was for this, because as you can see, we're at 117 miles right now, and we are going to probably get this up to a little over 300 miles before we leave here and get back on the road. So anyways, I'll give you guys a summary of how this all went, and we'll go from there. All right, we are all done with our supercharging. I got stuck on a work call, but I went ahead and saved this before we left. We did fill the entire battery up, so we have about 364 miles on the battery. For those of you that don't know, this is the long-range version, the new Model S, but it's only showing 364 because the car has the performance rims and tires on it. So if you go with the eco-friendly rims and tires that Tesla offers as an option, you will actually get 402 miles on the battery. So anyways, we have a full battery now. You can see we've stopped charging even though we're still plugged in. So we did really well here. Stayed here a little over an hour. You can see 364 here. We spent a total of $26.21. I think the battery was a little over 100 miles, if I remember correctly, when we first started. So it gives you an idea. We added about 264 miles to it. Cost us about $26 here in Klamath Falls, Oregon here. So that's kind of where we're at. We're gonna get started here. First thing I need to do is unplug this supercharger. So it's very simple, just the same way we plugged it in. You hit the button here, you get the blue light, pull it out, and then you go ahead and put it back on the charger as well. And then we can go ahead and hop in the car and get on our way. So I will record the next video as we're moving along here on our road trip. Hey guys, just arrived here in Bend, Oregon. Really exciting road trip. Had a good drive. For those of you that are thinking about getting a Tesla Model S or any kind of Tesla, it's a great vehicle to have. So really excited to get here. As you can see, the car did pretty well. Just kind of do a quick examination of the car. You can see not too many bugs on the car this time on this road trip. I don't know if it's the time of year. There's a few bugs for sure. I'm gonna definitely need to do a special wash on the car when I do get home, but you can see quite a few bugs on the windshield and the front of the car, but overall did a really good job. Car's looking really good, no problems at all overall. As you can see, just the car is looking great here. Overall, great road trip. Car handled itself really nicely through the mountains, going through the corners. Car handles beautifully. Only had to stop at 2 superchargers on the way up here. It's a little over 400 miles from Pleasanton, California, all the way up to Bend, Oregon. I'm actually in this small area called Black Butte, but you can see the scenery is just gorgeous here. It's a little area, central Oregon, just about 20 miles outside of Bend. But this is a annual trip that I do each year and been doing it for the last 20 years. So overall, car did great. Really enjoyed driving this on road trips. My favorite car in total. A lot of people talk about how electric cars, you got to charge them and everything, but I'll tell you, with road trip on Teslas, given all the superchargers they have available out there, it's really easy. I mean, there's so many different superchargers available for you to gain access to. So even if one's full, there's another one another 20 miles away or something like that. So it makes it really easy. So hope you guys enjoyed this first video. I'm gonna have another video here on the road trip home, and hopefully you guys can watch that too. I'll put that definitely down. There'll be a link down below in the comments. But if you guys have any questions at all about the video, how the car did in certain things, how it performed. Let me know. More than happy to answer those comments. I do try to look through the comments as much as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed the road trip here. Again, charging was easy. Car handled really well. This has been my favorite car to ever do a road trip on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do a lot of videos on the Tesla. I'm going to start introducing a couple more of my cars to the channel. I do have a few gasoline cars as well, and obviously the Tesla. But I hope you guys are just car enthusiasts and not just electric cars. But let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see some videos on my gas cars. I'd love to find out about that as well. I have an older 993 Porsche. It's always a dream to get that car. It's a 993 4S coupe, and I've been loving that car. And then I'm gonna probably get another Porsche as well, a new one though, and I'm currently speccing that, so I should get that in the next 5 to 6 months. But let me know if you guys are interested in those videos as well, or are you just purely electric. I'll see if there's a way for me to put a poll on YouTube, but I'd love to get your guys' comments on that. But let me know what your thoughts are. Overall, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps in the rankings quite a bit. And just want to share my enthusiastic approach to cars and how I use them. But hope you guys are enjoying the channel. If you have any comments or recommendations on doing a certain type of video, let me know. And please answer the poll below. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.